A few years back, we started our show to help others interested in exploring the Pacific Northwest and eventually the rest of the world.
Inspired by the spirit of the Negro Motorist Green Book, we wanted to be a valuable resource for Black and BIPOC travelers while connecting them to some of the most amazing places.
What's unique about our show is not only do we showcase spectacular destinations, but we also rate our experiences for how comfortable we felt visiting as Black travelers.
In every episode right here, we will show you some of those destinations as well as their comfort rating. I'm Anthony Love.
And I'm Marley Love. Come along with us on
Traveling While Black.
Hey, what's up? I'm Anthony.
And I'm Marley, and welcome to Traveling While Black with Anthony and Marley.
Look, real talk. All of our episodes are special, but today's topic brings something just a little extra.
That's right, because today's topic is all about nature and the outdoors. It's such an important topic because getting outside in nature comes with big benefits for our minds and bodies.
Yep, the topic also hits close to home for our show because historically Black people have faced barriers to outdoor access. And we'll cover all of that history on this episode.
Plus, we'll share how we got in the outdoors ourselves thanks to 2 great events and some inspiring Black outdoor creators.
And of course, we've got a travel tip and photos you sent in of you traveling while Black. This is gonna be one great episode.
And we can't wait to show you more. Enjoy.
Nature surrounds us in many different ways that demonstrate beauty, power, and awe.
But beyond being visually appealing to us humans, nature has a direct effect on our health, and not only our physical health, but also our mental health. In fact, studies show that walking for 90 minutes in a natural area, as opposed to a high-traffic urban setting, can directly improve mental health.
Yes, being in nature is important. And if you're familiar with our show, then you're familiar with our saying, nature loves Black people. Yes, we do believe it's true that nature loves all people. But for us, the saying reinforces the inherent connection between nature, but specifically Black people. Because for Black people in America, access to nature was one of the many things historically we were excluded from.
The state of Colorado, a state that is known for its abundant access to nature, is a great example of the barriers African Americans faced, but also a great story of how those barriers were overcome.
In the early part of the 20th century in Colorado, the membership of the Ku Klux Klan was over 50,000. That's why, for Black people within the state, historically safe and easy access to the outdoors was nearly impossible to come by. Still not impossible thanks to a little-known Black resort.
In 1922, E.C. Regner and Roger Ewalt created Lincoln Hills Resort, which was for the longest time the only resort for African Americans west of the Mississippi River. Middle-class Black families were able to escape the grips of segregation that outside the resort prevented them from experiencing the joys of nature.
Beyond the Black middle class, the resort also served as the location of a YMCA girls' camp that served African American women and girls prohibited from participating in other camps around the country. Today, that spirit of giving back and charity continues at Lincoln Hills.
In 2007, a Black billionaire philanthropist who actually grew up in the Five Points neighborhood purchased the property and founded Lincoln Hills Cares, a nonprofit organization that operates programs at the resort geared to expand access to the outdoors to African American and other BIPOC communities.
On our last visit to Denver, a part of our TWB Across America Road Trip Series Volume 1, for our outdoor experience on that trip, we had the extraordinary privilege to tour the Lincoln Hills property and learn more about the organization's mission from 2 individuals instrumental in its operation.
Hi, we're Lincoln Hills Cares. We're at the historic Lincoln Hills at the beautiful Lake Pactolus. We are an environmental nonprofit educating youth in the environment, conservation, sustainability, and providing access to the outdoors. Historic Lincoln Hills was established in the 1920s. This was a safe space for all people to be able to access the outdoors during times of segregation. Today, we educate youth about the cultural history of African Americans in the West and also in environmental education in conserving our planet and our resources.
One of the most important things that has influenced me working at Lincoln Hills is a very special quote by our benefactor, and that is, if you can learn to create a universe out of nothing, your mentality can move from one of scarcity to that of abundance. So we hope that we can transfer that to anybody that comes up here.
Lincoln Hills was one of the biggest enablers for Black people to experience nature in Colorado and is still continuing that mission today. Thankfully, more organizations and individuals are making a conscious effort similar to Lincoln Hills, not only in Colorado, but nationwide.
As for us, our barriers were more of a result of lack of know-how. Growing up in Missouri, we weren't introduced to outdoor activities, but it was our move to Washington, being surrounded by the abundance of spectacular nature, that motivated us to get outdoors.
Still, we knew we had to learn. Luckily for us, during our time here, we were able to find our own enablers, all of which we will show you on this episode. From a Washington State Park program to an outdoor festival specifically geared toward BIPOC individuals, even a few fellow Black outdoor creators that helped along the way.
Yes, nature is important, and everyone has a right to enjoy its many benefits, especially its love. Because, as we say, nature loves Black people. And on this episode, we're going to show you exactly why.
Wow, learning about Lincoln Hills and actually getting to visit, that was unforgettable.
Absolutely. Lincoln Hills opened up nature for African Americans to experience back then, and we had some help too when we first got started.
Yep, a lot of help.
Listen, I'm just happy I got into it. If I could go back and tell my younger self I'd be camping in a tent, she'd never believe it.
Even present-day Anthony is shocked. Growing up, I loved being outside, but the adventures we do now, I never thought I'd be here.
And after the break, you'll see one of our more daring outdoor adventures, so don't go anywhere.
It's time for TWB's Travel Flex, where every week we share a travel tip that can help you on your travel adventures. Our travel tip today is invest in travel cubes, because luggage space is crucial when traveling.
If you're an overpacker like me, you know how hard it is to fit all the cute outfits you have planned for your vacation in your suitcase. That's why we recommend using travel cubes. They can go a long way in saving space in your luggage.
Head over to our Amazon storefront to get the travel cubes that we use. And this has been this episode's TWB Travel Flex.
Welcome back. Look, besides my kid self playing with roly-polies, Mars and I weren't exactly outdoorsy folks.
Yeah, not at all. Bugs, ugh. But moving to the Pacific Northwest changed things, and hikes were our gateway with so many amazing trails that were nearby.
Then came the next step, camping, real camping, in a tent, outdoors, the whole deal. No glamping for Marley this time.
Yep, full camping, complete with bugs. But we were invited to an event meant to introduce people like us to outdoor camping, so we had to go.
That's right. And when that camp is on Mount St. Helens, the same volcano that erupted back in 1980, you can't say no.
Not at all. Bugs and a volcano. Yeah, I knew this wasn't going to be glamping, but take a look.
With the abundance of green forest and access to nature, it is no surprise that camping is a popular activity in the Pacific Northwest.
And because we do a travel show based out of the Pacific Northwest, we got a lot of requests asking about camping up here and requests for us to do a camping episode. Aunt and I had never camped before in a tent in the woods, mostly because I never saw myself doing an activity that entailed everything I hate. Bugs, the dark, sleeping outside in the dark, with bugs.
Luckily for us, we found out about an event hosted by the Mount St. Helens Institute called Base Camp, which offers a rare and exciting opportunity for visitors to camp on the north side of Mount St. Helens.
On top of the camping opportunity, the experience offers a designated campsite, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, a self-guided adventure packet, as well as options for self-guided activities.
With it being our first outdoor tent camping trip, we were happy that the Mount St. Helens Institute provides a list of recommended items to have for camping. We were less happy, though not surprised, that we had none of it.
After making a couple purchases and borrowing some important items from some friends, we headed off to Mount St. Helens to experience our very first camping trip on the beautiful and iconic volcano. When we first arrived on the majestic mountain, we checked in at the Science and Learning Center above Coldwater Lake. After grabbing a quick bite to eat,
which was one of 2 dinners provided as part of the base camp experience,
we were finally ready to take on the challenge of tent camping.
With it being our first time officially tent camping, plus using a borrowed tent, setting up our campsite was a bit of a process for sure. Luckily, we had an expert resource available to give us some help. For camping newbies, that too is a benefit provided as part of the base camp experience.
Thanks again to the Institute team member Jared. After we finally got our campsite set up, we ventured out to the first guided hike, a mini evening hike to view the blast zone and watch the sunset.
While out there, a staff team member told facts on the mountain, as well as told the story of the events and the people on the day the volcano erupted.
If by chance you never heard in depth about the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens, we can't recommend enough taking some time and looking up some of the stories around that day. They are unbelievable.
And on that particular night, so were the mountain views. After getting back to the base camp, I knew it was time to face one of my biggest concerns, sleeping outside in the dark with the bugs. But as it turned out, it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
Well, for getting a pillow and a sack to make the makeshift camping headrest, it didn't make for the most comfortable experience. Still, we were dry and warm.
And no bugs got in. In the morning, we had breakfast and packed lunch for later in the day,
both of which are provided as part of the base camp experience.
Since we were going to go on the guided hummocks hike that wasn't until later, we decided to take part in the activities at the Science and Learning Center.
It was actually a lot of fun. We were given a tour of the center, which included seeing volcano monitoring equipment and other artifacts such as archive photos.
After the tour, we got to get in touch with our artistic side by water painting. We almost forgot how the simple things can be so much fun.
After the artistic break, it was time to get back into nature. It was time for the guided hike through the hummocks. This was one of the dopest hikes we have ever been on.
And one of the few we actually finished. The hummocks are actually the remnants of the north face of the mountain that slid off during the eruption, and as a result created the hilly landscape. And the views were even more spectacular than the ones the day before.
After the hike, we headed back to base, where we just hung out and played one of our favorite board games until dinner, Monopoly.
After dinner, we were in for a pretty cool treat, as we got to take in a presentation given by Carolyn Dredger, who was one of the last people to see the legendary David Johnston, who was one of the 57 people that tragically perished the day of the eruption.
After the presentation, the Institute team had a small mini campfire with s'mores for all the guests. Then Mars and I headed back for the final night of sleep in the tent. At the end of both days, we can honestly say we had a blast.
Yes, we did. I can't lie that I was surprised, but ultimately it was nice just being in and close to nature. We really had a blast while being able to slow down and take it all in, and even if we couldn't shower.
Full disclosure, the Science and Learning Center was open all night to guests and provided access to bathrooms, so at least Mars had that. Still, TWB successfully completed our first tent in the woods camping trip, and I can see it definitely not being our last.
Well, we'll see about that. But I'm really looking forward to our next type of camping that is really my type of camping, glamping. We had the best time camping on Mount St. Helens, and surprisingly, not that many bugs. And I think that's an experience I'll never forget.
Marley, same. I vividly remember looking out the tent in the middle of the night and seeing the moonlight light up our whole campsite like it was the middle of the day. I'll never forget that.
Wow. And stay with us because after the break, we'll show you another outdoor event, and it's one that you could attend in a park near you.
And later, we'll feature photos of you traveling while black. Why miss out on that? Welcome back. As you saw in the last segment, we had a blast at Mount St. Helens, but much of our success was thanks to our guy, Jared. And well, Jared is not always gonna be around.
So we decided to give camping another try, this time not on a volcano, and with a whole lot more diverse spaces. This camping experience would be at Refuge Fest.
Even though we wouldn't have Jared, we did have access to plenty of experts, classes, and guides to help us along. Like Mount St. Helens, Refuge Fest aims to introduce individuals to nature. The only difference is Refuge Fest is more geared to BIPOC individuals.
Oh, Anthony, remember Refuge Fest is where we picked up one of our new favorite hobbies, watercolor painting.
So true, Mars. Only if we could pick up some talent.
Hey, we have some talent in watercolor painting.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just kidding. See, for real, no matter how good or bad I think we are, it doesn't matter. Painting in nature gives us a way to slow down and soak it all in.
Definitely, and as you will see, slowing down and fully experiencing nature was a common theme at Refuge Fest. Check it out.
Launched in 2018 as the brainchild of Siobhan Powell, Refuge Outdoor Festival, also known as Refuge Fest, is a 3-day outdoor recreation and camping experience geared toward BIPOC and allied outdoor enthusiasts of all levels of experience.
For this episode, we attended the 6th annual festival to see why the event is considered by many to be among the best of outdoor festivals.
Refuge Fest sounds like a really dope event on paper, and as you will see, it is even better than advertised when attending.
First, it's important to note that you must purchase a pass for the event. Overall pricing can vary based on single or multi-day passes and also lodging add-ons.
Lodging add-ons is a really cool feature that is offered.
See, if you are staying overnight and have your own tent or RV, cool. But for individuals that don't have their own tent or other needed camping gear,
Like us,
the event comes to the rescue by offering gear to borrow. Or even better for some, choosing a preset up option like the REI preset 2-person camp. Or if you really want to do it big, you can get a yurt.
we chose the REI preset 2-person camp option, which came with a tent, 2 cots with inflated mattresses, a table with a solar-powered light, and 2 outside chairs. The setup was perfect for us.
Part of Refuge Fest's goal is to make camping and experiencing the outdoors more accessible for everyone. And this is a perfect example of how they go about achieving that goal.
On top of enjoying outdoor activities like hiking and swimming on your own, participants can download the Sketch app to see the times and days of more than 20 recreation workshops and activities for all levels of outdoor enthusiasts.
Recreation workshops like the one we attended on fishing, sponsored by the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. During the workshop, we learned how to line a fishing pole, cast a line, and received other fishing tips. We even got to keep our fishing poles.
One of the really cool and relaxing activities we took part in was observing nature through a water painting activity, during which we were taught some water painting techniques, then sent out to paint what we saw in nature. I think it might be our new hobby.
Refuge Fest also offers a variety of entertainment options, such as musical performances, art exhibitions, and one of our favorites, the silent disco.
At the Outpost, tent participants can buy supplies and even merch. But if looking for more variety, they can also enjoy the outdoor vendor market, which brings in local BIPOC vendors, as well as informational booths on a variety of outdoor topics.
Yes, the 3-day event offers a lot of options for fun, all built around getting out and experiencing the outdoors. We definitely enjoyed our time.
Refuge Fest was amazing. And hey, we even got free fishing poles. We haven't used them yet, but we're ready when the time comes. And if you want to be at next year's Refuge Fest, head to goldenbricksevents.com for more info.
As you all have seen, this episode is all about nature, and we're big on encouraging everyone to get outside. But now, we want to spotlight some Black outdoor creators who inspire us to explore even more.
Yes, we can't wait for you all to learn more about them, and hopefully they inspire you to get out in nature too.
We've mentioned how nature has a direct effect on our physical and mental health. That's why we feel it's so important that our people make an intentional effort in getting out and enjoying the outdoors and nature.
But like anything, when trying something new, it is great to have some motivation. And the motivation for Black individuals is all the more important when thinking about some of the historical barriers that we have faced in trying to experience the outdoors and nature.
This is why we say Black creators can be an instrumental tool in encouraging our people in getting outside. And if you didn't know, there are some really amazing Black creators making great content around enjoying the outdoors and encouraging more participation within the Black community.
On our TWB Across America Road Trip Series Volume 1, we got to meet with one of those creators and learn more about their mission to expand inclusion into the outdoors and beyond.
I co-founded Inclusive Guide along with my partner and co-founder Crystal Egley in 2018. The Inclusive Guide is kind of like Yelp, but for inclusion. And people rate places and spaces based on how they felt they were treated in relation to their identity. And then we look for trends on the back end.
We definitely recommend exploring the Inclusive Guide. You can find out more at inclusiveguide.com. But Queen Work is not the only Black creator working towards getting more Black participation outdoors.
True that. And if you're looking for more, then you are in luck. Because on this episode, we are going to introduce you to a few that are definitely worth a follow and more. Starting with the dynamic couple dedicated to their dope mission.
My name is Cameron Stanton.
And I'm Chevy Lanier.
And we are Black people outside.
Because we Black and we be outside.
You know?
Yeah.
Hey. What makes our content unique is Cam and Chevy. Like, we're silly, we're new and oblivious to a lot of things outdoors. And the concept that we shows, it's easy for the everyday person to just hop into it. We're like everyone else. We're new to it, but we love it, and we're just trying to get used to it and trying to add a little bit more of it to our lives.
And I think that's what people like our content because it is accessible, because it is approachable, because it is attainable. We pride ourselves on being regular Black people from the South Side of Chicago. There's nothing about our page that is saying that you can't do this is super luxurious, and this is super unattainable, you know? So I think our content is really about having fun, really about being present in the outdoors, really about showing off our community. Our content is showing people in Chicago places to explore, places to go besides eating and drinking, because that's what the bulk of content was when we first started. And we just kind of wanted to see a shift and a change in content to show people other things to experience in and around Chicago.
There's a whole nother world out here, and you literally just got to go outside to find it.
Yep, period. You can find me on the trail.
Facts. The best way to find us is, like Chevy said, out on trail, or you can go on our socials across YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Just type in Black People Outside. You'll typically find us when we come up. Oh, and the website, blackpeopleoutside.com.
Yes, so find us on www.blackpeopleoutside.com. Find us at Black People Outside on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube, because we Black and we be outside.
We're on Facebook too, y'all. Hey.
Oh yeah, we do got a Facebook.
How about an adventurous solo woman creator whose travel content and blog is geared for women who love outdoor adventures and unique travel experiences?
I'm Lauren Gay, the Outdoorsy Diva. So what the content at Outdoorsy Diva is all about and how it's unique is because what you're going to see is someone who is not your typical outdoorsy person. You're not going to see somebody who's like super athletic and doing things in excess and trying to like climb these mountains and do these really big lofty goals. So that's not me. I'm the average regular person who really just wants to see as much beauty as I possibly can. So whether that's kayaking, light hikes, chasing waterfalls, those are the kinds of outdoorsy soft adventures that I like to do. So my content connects with people because it removes that fear that a lot of people have as a barrier for why they don't try things. I'm showing you that you can absolutely do it too, that you can easily incorporate nature into how you travel now. I'm gonna be honest with you about how many stairs something is. I'm gonna tell you how long it is. I'm gonna give you the best advice on how to prepare and actually enjoy the adventure. You can find me and my content everywhere on the internet. So I'm on YouTube at Outdoorsy Diva, Instagram and TikTok, it's Outdoorsy Diva. I also have a podcast called Adventure is a Lifestyle, and you can find my website at www.outdoorsydiva.com.
Let us introduce you to a creator who, along with their loved ones, is showing that loving nature is definitely a family experience.
Hi, my name is Zenobia Stevens, and my family and I go by Black Adventure Crew on social media and online. So our content is focused on families, specifically Black families, and getting outdoors into nature. Our content is very organic, it's very real, it's my family and our adventures. You know, we talk about the fears that sometimes come up, but just fears in general from going on different adventures and how we work through them. We discuss the fact that it's not always easy getting our kids outdoors, or making sure that we can always prioritize the outdoors like we want to. For our followers that are local, we share, you know, the places that we love adventuring here in North Alabama. The focus is that we want people to, number one, realize that there is so much beauty and wonder to be found right in their backyards. Like no matter where you are in the United States or in the world, there is something to be discovered, something beautiful about where you live, and we believe that that is where adventure starts. Secondly, to do it as a family unit. How can we change the narrative? How can we make sure that the future generation has a foundation in nature, a foundation in outdoor adventures? We think is by doing it together. And third, just connecting with family. We want people to think outside of the box when it comes to what you can do as a family and how you can connect. So if you follow us, that's the kind of stuff that you'll find on our social media, and hopefully just, you know, some inspiration and encouragement to get out there and create your own adventure. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Black Adventure Crew. You can also find us online at www.blackadventurecrew.com and on TikTok, also Black Adventure Crew. Peace out, and we'll see y'all outside.
Yes, all these creators are great resources and all around great follows that we definitely recommend checking out.
We are also sure that all of these creators would attest to our belief that nature loves Black people.
And hopefully we'll see you out on a trail soon.
Wow, it's so inspiring to see other Black outdoor creators getting people outside to explore.
That's right, because do we even have to say it again, Marley? Nature loves Black people.
And we hope you have enjoyed this episode because now it's time to show some of where you are traveling while Black.
Our picture this episode comes from Denise and her travel partner. They're visiting the iconic Niagara Falls.
Wow, another place we need to visit sooner than later. Add it to the list, Marley.
Will do. And we want to see more of you traveling while Black, so be sure to submit your pictures today.
Wow, great pictures. We love seeing you traveling while Black, so keep sending them in.
Yes, and we also love suggestions on where we should be traveling while Black next. So you can submit pictures and suggestions for us on our website at travelingwhileblackseattle.com.
That wraps up this week's episode. We hope we've inspired you to get outside, go camping, or at least try your first hike. Because remember, nature loves Black people.
Yes, and to catch up on more of our outdoor adventures, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Traveling While Black and follow us on Instagram at TravelWhileBLK and TikTok at TravelingWhileBLK.
Well, until next time, beautiful people, stay up, stay true, and do you.